What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and in this video we will look at the alternatives to Jude Bellingham. Liverpool have been linked very strongly with Mason Mount and Nicolo Barella. Those are the two midfielders that we will take a detailed look at in this video, but also we have to talk about the overall transfer strategy of FSG, and it has to change because the most money that Liverpool spent in one transfer window was £160 million back in 2018 after we sold Coutinho, and that was also offset by £40 million in sales. So the biggest net spend that Liverpool have done under FSG was £120 million, and I think we need at least 150, maybe even £200 million net spend this summer if we want to get back into the top four and remain competitive. And in previous seasons, Jurgen Klopp always said that he has enough quality in his side and we don't need to make wholesale changes. I think the absolute car crash disaster of a season this season showed Jurgen Klopp that that's not the case anymore. And he isn't saying that. He's saying Liverpool will guaranteed sign at least 2, maybe 3 midfielders this summer. So he changed his tune because he knows that quality additions, without quality additions, this Liverpool team cannot compete anymore with the top teams in the Premier League. So let me know in the comments below, out of the list of Mason Mount, Alexis MacAllister, Moises Caicedo, Nicolo Barella, Conor Gallagher, Palfinha of Fulham, which 2 or 3 midfielders would you sign if you were in charge of the Liverpool transfers? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a like on this video if you enjoy these transfer updates, and subscribe if you are new around here. So let's see if Jurgen Klopp gets 2 or 3 of these midfielders, and I think Liverpool need to get every single signing spot on in the summer because we are working with Liverpool's money and not an oil state's money. We have to get the transfer spot on. And Liverpool have a long list of potential targets, but we need to identify the players that are suited to what Jurgen Klopp wants them to play next season, Liverpool's playing style and tactic, and also potentially, like, all of these players on paper would be excellent additions, but there are other targets for Liverpool, like Conor Gallagher, even though I'm not a big fan of him. Jesper Lindström, it looks like he will be a free agent in the summer. I would love to see him at Liverpool. Kopp Miners of Atalanta and Ryan Gravenberch of Bayern Munich would all be decent additions. It's not Jude Bellingham and it's not like world-class players, but they have the potential to become world-class players. And under Jurgen Klopp, I think that's the route that Liverpool will go for, because probably if we sign Jude Bellingham for 130 million, we won't have enough money to spend on other targets. There is, for example, a prospect of Yuri Tielemans on a free transfer, but I don't think he's suited to Liverpool's high-intensity, heavy metal football. He just doesn't have the legs to work hard up and down and bomb up and down the pitch. So I think Liverpool have to be very, very smart with their transfer recruitment. And I think it's very important that one of those 3 midfield signings is a holding midfielder. We just cannot rely on Fabinho anymore. It looks like he has started to decline. The big question is, will Fabinho get back anywhere near his best next season, or will he continue this really bad form that he has been in constantly, almost constantly this season? There has been flashes, 5 or 6 game periods where Fabinho was a lot improved than his overall really bad baseline this season, but it hasn't been consistent. So Liverpool can't rely on him. We can't rely on Bajcetic. He's only 18 years old, and Henderson doesn't want to play the holding midfield role, which I think is a disgrace. He should be playing the whatever role Jurgen Klopp wants him to. And you could argue that probably it will take around 50, 60, maybe even 70, 75 million pounds to sign a world-class holding midfielder, because Moises Caicedo just signed a new contract at Brighton. I don't think they would sell even for 80 million. So I would actually go for Declan Rice at West Ham. He would be absolutely perfect in Liverpool's midfield. He's also homegrown, he's English. Yes, he will cost a lot of money, but I think he would jump at the chance to sign for Liverpool. And he's good mates with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jordan Henderson from the England team. And it would make sense if Liverpool have to spend around 70-75 million on somebody like Declan Rice, a holding midfielder. It would make sense to spread the other funds around, because if we only sign Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice, that won't be enough. That won't improve Liverpool that much that Liverpool will definitely make the top 4 or even challenge for the title next season. There is also a scenario where Bellingham stays at Dortmund and waits another year to decide where he will go. And in that case, Liverpool can spend a lot of money on refreshing the midfield this summer, and then next summer we can blow almost all of our transfer budget on just Jude Bellingham. Let me know if that would be a strategy that would interest you guys or that would make you happy. And Neil Jones said something very interesting. He said that he actually thought that Liverpool would sign Bellingham because when the Bellingham rumors started, they didn't pour cold water on the rumors, Liverpool. And also the club, Liverpool, expected to make the top 4 even in January. So they wanted the best transfer target available, and that is Jude Bellingham. So they expected in January to get top 4, and that's why they didn't sign a midfielder, so they can spend all their money on the Jude Bellingham transfer. But each week, Liverpool are showing that they are not a top 4 team this season. I think the top 4 is gone. It's pretty much finished. I mean, even if Liverpool win their last 9 games in a row, which they won't because they haven't been consistently winning games all season, we finish on 71 points. And Newcastle and Man United are on course to finish on 73 points. If they just continue their average, points per game ratio that they have done so far this season. And Jurgen Klopp potentially got spooked, and Liverpool, the club itself, got spooked by the consistent bad form of key players. Virgil van Dijk and Fabinho are 2 that Neil Jones highlights. So it's a new normal. It's not just form, which would mean that more focus will be on rebuilding the whole squad and not just the starting 11. And Neil Jones is also in the dark on who makes the transfer decisions. Is it the scouts? Or is it Julian Ward, even though he's leaving? Or is it Jurgen Klopp? And Neil Jones thinks it's Jurgen Klopp who is driving the summer recruitment. Neil thinks it's fair to think that progress has been made on some players on Liverpool's shortlist. Liverpool can't afford to go into the summer missing out on their targets. It's bad enough if we miss out on Jude Bellingham. If we miss out on our 2nd or 3rd target, and if we wait too long, we will miss out on them. That would be absolutely disastrous for the Liverpool team. The whole Jude Bellingham episode revolves around a £200 million transfer budget. It could be hypothetical. Jude Bellingham plus £50 million to spend is a worse alternative, according to Liverpool, than signing 3 midfielders plus another £50 million. So Liverpool think that with the 150 million that Dortmund are asking for Jude Bellingham, it's better to sign 3 players and spend another 50 million. If that's really the transfer fee of Dortmund, 150 million pounds and not euros, then I'm leaning towards walking away from the Bellingham deal. He's a great player, but if Liverpool really only has 200 million pounds to spend, we can't be blowing 2/3, 3/4 of that, 75% of that on one player, and then we will have just 50 million pounds to spend on another 2 midfielder plus a centre back. That would be too much. I mean, too little to spread around. And Neil Jones actually agrees with the Liverpool fans that the situation that Liverpool find themselves in is a disgrace. It's a farce. And he agrees with the fan sentiment. He has big doubts about Liverpool's summer. Neil Jones really believes that Liverpool will not go back into the Bellingham transfer saga. He knows about the Alisson and Danny Ward transfer saga, where Liverpool pulled out. All the journalists posted that we pulled out of Alisson deal, and then we went back in and signed him. And according to Neil Jones, Liverpool didn't make a bid for Jude Bellingham. Yanagi Fjørtoft said that Liverpool did, so someone is lying. Either Yanagi Fjørtoft is a liar, or Neil Jones is a liar. I honestly don't know at this point. So make your own mind up, man. Draw your own conclusions from this. And what is the biggest worry is that so far no investment has come into the Liverpool. FSG couldn't sell a minority stake of Liverpool. So far it looks like we are just spending what FSG will let Liverpool spend, and that's Liverpool's own money and not FSG's money. Mason Mount, Nicolo Barella, Caicedo, MacAllister, they would be, all four of these players would absolutely walk into Liverpool's starting lineup and start right now and even improve the Liverpool side and improve the midfield. So if we sign 3 of these 4 players, I will be actually happy. But if we only sign 2 of them, I'm not sure if that's enough. We need then another right back and another centre back. But the excuse that Liverpool can't spend that much money with no Champions League football is pathetic in my opinion. When Liverpool not only were in the Champions League, but when we won the whole damn thing and got 120 million pounds for winning the Champions League, we spent 6 million pounds in that summer transfer window. We signed Harvey Elliott, who is a kid. Yes, he's a midfielder, but he's still a kid. We signed Adrian, a backup goalkeeper, on a free transfer, and Sepp van den Berg, who still hasn't played for Liverpool yet. He has been constantly out on loan. Where is that money that we got from being in the Champions League for 5 years? Arsenal spent like 250 million. And they haven't been in the Champions League for 5 years. So it's a absolutely pathetic excuse. And Liverpool are now under massive pressure to spend huge amounts of money. And they themselves, FSG, are to blame. And the transfer strategy are to blame for this. Because if Liverpool constantly reinforced their midfield, almost every season we needed to buy a midfielder in the past 4 years, in my opinion, then we wouldn't be in this situation. We reinforced the forward line. We signed good players for the defense. We signed Tsimikas. We signed Konate. Why didn't we keep reinforcing the midfield? This is Liverpool's own doing, Liverpool's own failing of a transfer strategy when it comes to the midfield department. And FSG, you have to ask huge questions about their ambitions for the future. Do they just want to own Liverpool as an asset and they don't care about success? They don't care about building a Liverpool team that can challenge for the title every season? Because the recent transfer strategy points to that. They don't care. They checked out. They are not really interested in the day-to-day running of Liverpool. But Jurgen Klopp alone can't keep waving around his magic wand and make good players into world-class players every single time. He would need backing in the transfer market, especially because the competition is bigger and better than ever. We have Newcastle and Man City, 2 oil states with unlimited amounts of money. We have Chelsea with almost unlimited amounts of money with their new owner. We have Man United, who always spend big, and now we have Arsenal, who spent also big without Champions League football and who spent very wisely. They did a Liverpool basically, signing brilliant young players, developing them, and now they are a world-class team, Arsenal. And then we have Tottenham, who also, even though they built a new stadium, are spending more money in the last 3 years than Liverpool. The Liverpool squad needs a lot of work, Dominic King says. They would have been a huge mess had they actually decided to go all in on Bellingham and found out in late June they had missed out on him, as well as other players they were watching. Maybe Liverpool are calling Dortmund's bluff, perhaps armed with knowledge that Bellingham has his heart set on, joining Liverpool, linking up with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Henderson. But the Liverpool recruitment team know that it's on them to deliver the right characters and the best talent to ensure that this Liverpool team moves on and the rebuild is a success. And if it's the case that it's 3 midfielders coming in and not just 1 in Jude Bellingham, the success rate has to be 100%. That's what I said, because we haven't signed a midfielder apart from Thiago in 4 years. Now Liverpool are backed into a corner and we have to nail every single midfielder signing. Mason Mount would be an excellent start. There appears a mutual desire for that move to happen. Chelsea want to sell, Liverpool want to buy, Mason Mount wants to go because he doesn't want to sit on the bench at Chelsea. And this has become the biggest transfer window of Jurgen Klopp's 8-year, tenure or era at Liverpool. What happens from here will determine whether Liverpool can keep moving with pace or if pulling out of the battle for Bellingham signifies the start of Liverpool slipping back into the pack, and if we will be just challenging for the top 6. And there is a really serious danger of that happening. Jurgen Klopp said with smart recruitment we will improve, definitely. That is the plan. So it's exciting, but it's also tricky because as I said, Liverpool have to nail every single transfer in the summer transfer window. I think Mason Mount wants to come to Liverpool, and because he only has 1 year left on his contract, Chelsea wants to sell him. He hasn't been playing a lot of games for Chelsea this season. He has been mostly on the bench. And last summer, Liverpool went in hard for Tchouaméni and Bellingham. Neither players were gettable. Tchouaméni chose Real Madrid and Bellingham decided to stay at Dortmund. Why not sign a player like Barella or Moises Caicedo or MacAllister or somebody else for half of what Tchouaméni would have cost? And actually then Liverpool would have had a better option in midfield. So Liverpool really messed up the last summer transfer window and the January transfer window when it comes to midfielder signings. So now we absolutely have to get this transfer window spot on. Otherwise, we will not make top 4 next season. But let's wait and see what happens and what Jurgen Klopp decides. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.